trauma, stop drama, and then karma. Heal trauma, stop drama, and then karma. Heal trauma, stop drama, and then karma. Heal trauma, stop drama, and then karma.
Hey everybody, it's Coach Najee back with another tarot card breakdown. And right now we have card number 3 in the series, was labeled number 2. We started with 0, 1, and now 2. So this is the High Priestess. Just in case you guys wanted to know, I'm using the deck called Tarot Illuminati. Illuminati simply means to be awakened, to be illuminated, to be aware. Well, whether you like that name or not, that's just what it means. So the Illuminati is a bunch of people who can see behind the veil. They can see the rules and the principles and the nitty-gritty that make up reality. And they use that knowledge to affect reality. And that takes us into card number 2. Card number 2 is the High Priestess. And the story of the High Priestess is the woman who guards the temple. She has the sacred knowledge of the inner workings of reality. And those inner workings of reality are those instructions in her hand. And she doesn't hide those instructions, she keeps it wide open, telling you to come and seek that knowledge, that self-knowledge of how you function and how you operate. We're starting to look at how open, fluid, and graceful she is. She's calm and peaceful. Look at the card. I chose this deck because this deck isn't spooky, it's not demonic, it's not creepy. It's really allowing you to put your guard down and say, wow, like what's going on here? This card is associated to your subconscious and your intuition, and also your superconsciousness. Symbolically, the moon is linked to your emotions and your intuition. And these two pillars are referencing from the other card, the Alchemist. If you didn't see that video, go back and check it out. The infinity sign. But what happens on the spiritual, the invisible, the mental, and the emotional realms are going to affect and directly cause things to happen on the physical realm. This is what these two pillars stand for. We look at this blue, this light blue, and we're starting to see, wait a minute, what chakra is that? Well, that's associated to the throat chakra. This is about divine communication. And when I say divine, we mean communication between two realms, between two densities, between two worlds, if you will. And that's from the invisible realm to the physical realm. Oh, wait a minute. That's your mind. This card is talking all about your mind. 2 is about doubling. It's about not just getting to the next level. I know I said that a lot in the last video, but it's really true. 2 is about things that are splitting and multiplying and being fruitful. Remember, repetition for effect. So what's the feeling that comes to you when you look at this card? That's a very important part, because this card is talking about listening to your intuition. Part of listening is part of speaking. Part of speaking and listening equals communication. This card is telling us that our intuition, our subconscious mind, is in constant communication with us. But if we're always speaking, we're not listening. We're always thinking in one particular thought pattern based off of what we think and what we want and what we don't want and what we don't like. When we think we know every damn thing, it's hard to listen. It's hard to listen to the innate and intuitive wisdom that's coming from inside of us. It's hard for us to really tap into our emotions. What are our emotions telling us? What are you saying? What's that little child, that inner child, that child of light, that divine spark, that divine spirit? What is it really telling me? What's it trying to communicate? Everything's there. She's showing you. Everything you really want to know about you is there. What happens is we're so caught up, we ignore this. We ignore the spiritual, emotional, the mental. We judge it. And we get stuck here. We get stuck in the land of physical. Why am I taking this approach for the tarot? This is supposed to be mystical, and no. This is a system of gaining self-knowledge through self-awareness. Upside down. This is telling us about a person who doesn't listen, a person who's living in fear, a person that's afraid, a person who has defined their reality already. They defined it so much, with so much talking, internal chatter, they're not listening to anything else. They're not listening to their spirit and their inner child and their higher self. They're just listening to what we would call, everybody agrees to call, the ego. The spirit works based on unification. It works based on unification, integration, and harmony. Upside down is just showing us that this person doesn't have any peace. There's no harmony in that business that they're doing, in that relationship that they're doing. They're not listening to their partner. They're not listening to themselves. What they're really listening to is this one-sided conversation from the ego that's based in protection and safety. This person has a hard time taking in information because their cup is full. Upside down, this is talking about a person who is not just ignorant and unaware, but is a person who refuses help. They refuse to listen. They refuse to go inside. Oftentimes, upside down is associated to denial. The person who's closed-minded and narrow-minded. This first upside down is talking about a situation where a person is suffering because of a lack of communication. You see, there's supposed to be a flow. There's supposed to be a flow of information from here to here and back and forth. And you are the person that's in the middle of this, from the spiritual and invisible down to the physical. Some people say, oh, wait a minute. You know, making money is evil. Making money, no, it's not true. It's not true. There's nothing spiritual about you making $1 million. Yes, it is. You bet your ass off it is. You better believe it is. Because guess what? The quality of your belief systems is directly going to affect what happens here. There's nothing spiritual about poverty. Actually, that's not true. Poverty is very spiritual. See, reality works on rules of this back and forth. And the communication requires a back and forth. And when things are in balance and alignment, you can move back and forth, to and fro. You can listen and ask a question and get an answer. And keep going back and forth until you develop the channel. This is about developing the channel for abundance and energy to flow. Oftentimes when we look at poverty, we start to recognize there is a disconnect from the spiritual, the emotional, the mental, that it causes a jamming signal that creates this deficit and lack on the physical realm. This is huge. This is huge. Poverty is spiritual. Being rich is spiritual. Everything is spiritual. Spiritual is talking about energy, about the type of energy, type of system that we exist and live in here in 3D, through a third density. We exist in a dual system, and neither are supreme, but they balance each other out. You are the balance. You're the person who's supposed to be the steward, who's supposed to balance these, so you can create and manifest what you want. The High Priestess is about you being the intermediary, learning about your own self, diving in and listening. What am I doing? I'm going back around between symbols and story and relating it to you. Why? This is the way you're going to learn about yourself. Oh man, wait a minute, I want to do this in the reading. Stay still. In stillness, you start to receive information. This card is rich with information. What comes to mind? What feelings come to mind when you see this card? This is going to be based on you. And this is why the tarot is so profound, because it gives you a base system, a spiritual foundation, and you get to build upon it. You get to add slight interpretations to what you pull from this. I'm giving you the basics and the foundation, a metaphysical foundation. It's up to you to add the rest, but for right now, we're just talking about the symbols. The moon. We've already spoke about the moon. The moon is going back to your intuition, your gut feeling, the sensations you get through your body. Look, she's open. Everything about her is expanding. She's open and she's still and she's calm. This is the state you want to be in when you want to receive information. When you want to tap in and be in tune, this is the state you want to be in. When you're reading tarot, it's not about our ego and about judgment, about being right and wrong. This is about being receptive, a receiver of information. Everything I'm saying, I'm repeating and rephrasing because our minds are not used to staying on something long enough for it to make sense. We have a system built into our mind where we jump to one conclusion, and that's it. And well, I don't know. What about this one? I don't know. This time I'm taking of going back and forth is symbolic because it's a skill that needs to be developed in order for you to get here. In order for you to see how you function and how you work and what's going on, in order for you to develop that communication, it's going to take time. It's going to take time, and we exist within time. Notice she has a thing on her third eye, if you can see it. She's adorned. She has these crescent moons, or whatever we're going to call these. We're going to call them crescent moons. We start to see she has these floral patterns on the dress. What does that mean? How does it make you feel? What information is coming up? This is extremely important. How does it feel? Write it down. Write it down. Because that's going to allow you to tap in. You look at this lighter. It's a beautiful thing. Right? It's from the movie Constantine. I love it. The physical thing is linked to an invisible thing called lighter. It's linked to a structure. It's linked to a vibration. It's linked to a certain frequency. It's linked to a word. It's linked to a schematic. This physical thing cannot be separated from the spiritual or from the energetic. It's part of it. What we're starting to see here with the High Priestess is about being in a state that is open and receptive so you can see both worlds. It's about practicing seeing left and right. Seeing good, bad, right, wrong, left, right, up, down, right, wrong. It's about you seeing both of these things and not judging it. Standing in the middle. Allowing yourself to be the intermediary that's not focused on being right, but allowing things. She's entertaining concepts and ideas. She's open. The life lesson here is to allow yourself and practice putting yourself into a certain state that's going to allow you to be open to your own subconscious mind. The subconscious mind has downloaded all the information that you need. All the information, the meanings and references, all these things are already there. All you have to do is start asking questions. Ask questions. Who, what, when, where, how, why. Who, what, when, where, how, why. Who, what, when, where, how, right. Then write it down. Write it down. And you'll start to put yourself into this receptive state. Remember, the tarot is a system to gain self-knowledge through self-awareness. The only way to become self-aware is start asking questions. Questions allow you to update your own mind. Allow yourself to be put in this receptive state and start writing things down. All right? So, we're going to move on to the next card. So, this is Coach Najee. Remember, you want to heal trauma, stop drama, so you can end karma, so you can be unconditionally you. Like and subscribe to videos, and I'll be back with more powerful content on demystifying the tarot and seeing behind the veil. Till next time. Later.